Ok. Buenas noches, queridos amigos. Buenas noches, Ebenezer, un buen amigo que se unió esta noche a la reunión en inglés. Que comenzamos con una pequeña comunidad de la semana pasada y es nuestra segunda conversación en inglés. La pasada vez iniciamos en portugués porque estábamos junto con Humberto, pero hoy estamos dos bolivianos aquí en esta conversación. Y pues hoy vamos a continuar hablando sobre el aprendizaje de inglés, sobre metodologías de estudio. Y solamente para explicarles cómo funcionan estas conversaciones, la comunidad de this.is.unBoliviable nace para justamente con el deseo de poder expandir más el conocimiento del aprendizaje de idiomas, ya sea inglés, portugués, español o francés en este caso. Y pues es un lugar que intentamos crear un ambiente libre, un ambiente donde no nos sintamos presionados, o tal vez con un sentimiento de crítica. Es un lugar donde simplemente vamos a utilizar el conocimiento del idioma que ya sabemos. Cabe recalcar que no tenemos profesores acá, trabajamos en diferentes áreas. Con Ebenezer trabajamos en la misma área que es la área de tecnología. Entonces la idea no es corregirnos, no es aprender reglas gramaticales, simplemente conversar sobre un tema específico y hacerlo en otro idioma, que en este caso va a ser en inglés, ¿ok? Normalmente vamos a iniciar con una pequeña presentación personal para hacer como un calentamiento, un warm-up, antes de comenzar a adentrarnos a las preguntas de hoy, ¿ok? Entonces, bienvenida, Venecia, gracias por la presencia y por el apoyo también. Entonces, let's switch to English. As already said, let's start with our presentation. So, Ebenezer, I believe that you're gonna pronounce your name in English. I know that it's
Yeah.
Ebenezer in English. So, would you mind introducing yourself to us? Something that brief. It's brief.
Okay, thank you very much, Christian, for this opportunity. I think practicing English is today. I think it's a must. But I'm going to introduce myself. My name is, as Christian said, in English, Ebenezer. In Spanish, Ebenezer, and Portuguese, Ebenezer was. Yeah. And well, as he said, I'm Bolivian. I'm living now in Brazil for I think 1 year in a couple of months. I am well, not a software engineer, but system engineer. It's the career that I have studied. Well, I'm married. I have a girl, my daughter Nara, and my little son Liam. Well, I think that's it. I like to play some instruments. I like to play violin. I love sports. I play soccer, and one of my interests are I love cooking too. And well, I think that's a little bit about me.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer. And that was like kind of interesting that you were like mixing Portuguese, Spanish, and English. For those who don't know, perhaps Ebenezer didn't tell us that. He's living here in Brazil as well. We are Bolivians, and we both are living here in Brazil. So that's why we know a little bit of Portuguese, or at least we are trying to level up our Portuguese. And but we live in different states, in different cities. About me, guys, my name is Christian Jimenez. I am from Bolivia. I currently live here in Brazil. I studied the same degree as Benicer, so I am a system engineer as well. I studied in Bolivia in the Adventist University of Bolivia. I am 37 years old. I'm married. I live here with my wife. I don't have children yet, so we are thinking to have them like more ahead. In my about the things that I love doing, I would say that I love learning new languages. I believe that it become like one of my favorite hobbies. I love playing football as well, but unfortunately, I don't have so many chances to play here in Curitiba. I love playing volleyball as well, but because of the weather, we stopped playing for this season because here in Curitiba is so cold. I believe that's it a little bit about me. Let's move on to our today's topic. I believe that I didn't write an like a title for our today's topic, but let's move on to the question number one. Okay, so the question number one goes like this. Ebenezer, why do you think English is important in today's global job market, or perhaps from your perspective, it can be a good one?
Why is important English in job market? Okay, well, I think the pandemic has started this thing that we can apply to different places to work. So today, I think English or maybe another language. It depends of where do you want to work. I think for us, for example, that we now we are living in Brazil. If I want to work here, I do really need to know Portuguese. But talking about English now, English today it's like a must. I think English if you want to travel, I don't know, Europe or other place, it's I think it's more it's easier get person that speak English, and it's more communicative, and it's a language that it's over all over the world, so I think it English give you can open doors and can give you more how can I say, it can give you more advantage in different job vacancies, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You tell us or you tackled some key points that are important, really important. As you said, I believe that pandemic has changed the game at all,
Hmm.
and technology has been introduced in every single area, in every single field. I believe that as well. That's why our career has opened many doors. And because of that, obviously English is a must. Uh, and talking about our area specifically, I don't think there is like a programming language that is in another language, or perhaps in Spanish or in Portuguese. I have heard from people that nowadays it's important to learn Chinese, that perhaps Chinese will become like the most important language around the globe because
Yeah.
related to business, to all of that part of the business. I don't think that it's gonna be like that. I believe that English will remain as the most important. From my view, English is used in like in 95% of the multinational companies, which perhaps hire people around the globe, and the main language is English, from my view. I'm not sure about it. I don't have exact numbers, but based on my knowledge, based on my experience, and as well the vacancies or the job position that I have applied, English is a must. At least in our area, I am completely certain that it's a must nowadays. Let's move on to the question number two. Thank you so much for your answer, for your insights. Uh, could you read the second one and try to answer it, please?
Okay, it says, how can speak English give someone a competitive advantage at work? Do I have to answer it? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What? Well. I didn't have the opportunity to work for a company that speaks English, but like we mesh with technology, and as Christian says, most of the tools and most of the books, good books, and everything are written in English. So understand English, know English, write English. I think even though I don't know, watching some videos on TED on those good speaker, good developers, always all of them are in English. So I think it's good for everybody that this is is meshing with technology. I think it's a great tool for us for to to maybe to get another things, another tool for our knowledge, right? So advantage, I think it's advantage. Every language is an advantage. If you learn a language, you have a new tool for to face different ways, different countries, different things. So always, and English, it's like you said, it's a universal language, and everybody, maybe talking about South America, I think every single country in the high school, English is present since primary to secondary, right, to high school. So everybody is learning English today.
Yeah, that's it. I completely agree with you, Ebenezer. And something interesting that you said, not just specifically related to English or specifically focused to English, it's that every single language is important because, for example, we got Brazil because we already had a little bit of knowledge of Portuguese. I'm not sure if it would be possible to us to get an job opportunity here if we wouldn't have learned a little bit of Portuguese, or at least survive, or at least express yourself in different ways. So yeah, I completely agree with that. So we don't have to like underestimate language. Obviously, nowadays we are in this specific occasion we are talking about English, but I completely agree with that, that every single language is important. We don't have to diminish them. And about the advantages, as you said, it opens many doors. As we mentioned it before as well, I believe that you can like level up your career or your degree if you learn English. As a matter of fact, from my view, if you just learn English and you don't have any degree, perhaps you will have more opportunities than someone who just, for example, studied, I don't know, any single degree. I won't mention any degree because perhaps somebody can get like um hurt for my comments, but I believe that it's something that always think about, that people who know English uh, could have more opportunities than someone who don't have or who doesn't have this skill. Unfortunately, nowadays or the modern world, from my view, it's like that. So yeah, it's a must from my view. It will give you more opportunities, not just about work, about the studies. Perhaps you can get an internship abroad. I know from young people who have English, a good English level, they can get easily an internship. Obviously, they have to like complement it with good scores at school. But yeah, from my view, it's really important. So let's
Yeah.
move on to the question number three. In your country, which profession demand strong English skills? I will start with that one. Well, I'm gonna talk about Bolivia. I believe that in Bolivia, it's not like necessary to know English. It's not that common. Like, for example, unfortunately, I'm gonna say because in my environment that I was, for example, in my group of friends or the environment or the church that I was part of, it was not that normal to find someone who speaks English like fluently. It was something like that it seemed like weird or special. On the other hand, when I moved here to Brazil, even though I know that from specific numbers that just 5 or 6% of Brazilian population speak like fluently English or have a high level of English, even though that numbers, I believe that here I found more people who speak like have a high level of English, or perhaps they developed the the speaking skill. So I believe that in Bolivia is not that normal, and from my view, people who tend to learn English are firstly those who work with technology, because we, as we said, it's a must. Perhaps they don't develop like the four principal skills, that is speaking, reading, writing, and listening. But at least we normally, I said we because we are part of that group. We at the beginning we developed reading, and at least reading and writing, because we write code and we have to read information documentation, and as well all of those like areas or degrees that related to something that is international, for example, international business. uh, I believe that there is a degree that is called like something like tourism, international tourism, something like that. Everything that is related to something that is out of Bolivia, all of those I believe that tend to learn English, like, or concentrate or focus more in English more than others. So that's my opinion. I believe that it's like that in Bolivia. I don't know. What do you think, Ebenezer?
Okay. Number three, right? Well, both of us are Bolivians, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about how I can see or how it was when I was in Bolivia. Um, I think we don't in that year. I don't know when I was in high school, but we don't focus too much on English. I remember that we used to take 1 hour and 30 minutes per week of English in high school. So it wasn't common. I think today it's changing a little bit. I heard that English now it's like a class that they are taking every day for 1 hour and something like that. So now, Christian, I think it's they realize that English gonna give you a different opportunities to face. So yeah, I am agree with you that it was very difficult to know someone that speaks fluently. Maybe grammar, another thing that we start learning. It's okay. Let's start with grammar, and maybe we can know more grammar, reading, but speaking it's one of the most difficult things. I especially for me today, I really have problems with speaking, but uh, yeah, I agree. No, in that time today, I am living 12, 13 years. Uh, that I'm not living in Bolivia, but today I think today it's changing because they know that English it's a good tool for us.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna change. I'm not sure about numbers. I'm not sure how it's been there in Bolivia. However, the intention of this page, as well this of this community, is to encourage people from Bolivia, because that's why the name of the page, to encourage them to come here and practice, because it's not enough to keep just with your paper, with your pencil. It's important to like expose yourself to the language. And I believe as well it's a good strategy to record this kind of conversation, because after that we can check again and like understand, or perhaps see when we did some mistakes, sorry, or perhaps when we did well. It's good. It's a good exercise to listen to ourselves. So that's why it's important to me, at least, to record this kind of conversation. And hopefully it is changing, and hopefully it's gonna change as well in our country. So let's move on to the next question. I believe that we already talked a little bit about the question number 4, so I'm gonna skip that one. Let's move on
Okay.
to the question number 5. Okay. Uh, it's a good one. I believe that we have a lot of experiences related to this one. The question number 5 goes like this. Have you ever missed or gained a job opportunity because of your level of English? Do you have any experience like that? Go ahead.
Well, I think I'm not gain. Well, I think I gain a little bit, but not. How can I say? I didn't get it, and I will tell you why. I had the opportunity to have an interview. I was I had a meeting with a recruiter. I don't know if I pronounce very well. Well, but I think in one step of the meeting, he asked me if I speak English, and I said yes, I do. And so he said, "Okay, we are going to continue this interview in English." And well, I think in other case, if I can if I put in my how I'm gonna use your word phrase in my resume. If I put in my resume that I speak English and I don't, or maybe I'm trying to appears that I speak English, but maybe see if I didn't know a little bit English, I think that interview gonna be failed, right? So I think in that case, nah, and yeah, when I travel to different places, uh, uh, I know that if you don't speak the language that where the country you are going, maybe they speak a different language. But if you know a little bit English and you speak English or ask for someone that speaks English, I think it's easier to find persons that they speak English. So as the beginning of the conversation, English as a universal language. Always gonna be a gain in different situations.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. Um, from my view, I believe that I have lost some opportunities for my English level. Even more when I started applying, like 3 years ago, when I decided to move to another company, when I said, okay, I have to stop working here, when I was still in Bolivia. So I started sending my resume, my CV to other companies. And as I knew a little bit of English, I started sending for those who English was like a must, it was required. Unfortunately, the first one when I was sending at that time, my English level, at least in the speaking skill, was not that good. And I always remember my first interview in that period of time in English. It was really, really bad. I remember that I struggled a lot, like not understanding, I believe that my listening was pretty good, or at least in a professional context, it was like, yeah, it was good. However, my speaking was really, really bad. I couldn't like express myself. It was so difficult to find exact words. When I had to talk about my work experience, it was so tricky. Uh, but unfortunately, I trained so much. I believe that nowadays I don't struggle so much in jobs interviews. However, I need to improve more my hard skills that it's related specifically to our career, that is core in databases, DevOps, all of those things. Uh, I gained, as you said, the knowledge. From my view, I believe that all of those experiences they took me to this place. If I have never like taken those opportunities, or at least the risk to see how it was, perhaps I would have I wouldn't never like starting practicing more, or perhaps focusing more on my English development. So I believe I gained a lot of knowledge, and as well, I believe it's like everything. The more you practice, the less you panic. And from every single experience, you can learn something, perhaps something related to English or something related to the interview. If you learn something in the interview that you didn't know, you will go to Google or somewhere, and you will try to find the answer, perhaps that you didn't get that one, and you will be ready for the next one. So it's a good strategy to try at least how to see how a real interview in English is. So for those who are like thinking twice, if you apply, if you at least have a like intermediate level of English, go ahead. You will gain a lot. However, as Ebenezer said, if you don't have like if the job position requires English, like for at least in a conversational level, and you said that you have an intermediate but you don't, I believe that you have to practice more, because you if you cannot answer to the interviewer, you won't pass. That's for sure. So, but I believe that it's a good strategy to learn more from the language, and as well from your area, from your field. Let's move on to
Yeah,
the next question. Go ahead. Do you
yeah,
want to add something?
yeah, but I remembered adding to what I said before. After the interview in English, I passed to the next step, and so I think I gained in that situation, but I failed in the technical interview. So okay, I gain for English, not for my technical knowledge. Okay, let's go
Yeah,
ahead.
when we pass the first interview, we feel happy, but then we remember that we need to be really good at the technical part. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, and sadly, it's something that is real. It's not enough just being a good English speaker. You need to be
but
a
it
really good.
helps.
Yeah, it helps. However, you have to be a good, like a high level developer to get those opportunities that we are looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. I believe that the sixth one is good. Yeah. What is your short-term English goal related to your current job? Do you have any? I believe if we can apply that, because we work for the same organization. Do you think that
Yeah.
I want to change a little bit this question, but do you think that English helps you in your current position?
Well, yeah, actually, my whole team are Brazilian. Every daily we speak in Portuguese. We don't have an English moment. So today, I think it's not what can give you can give me more something like hiking a level position, but maybe in a future maybe it could be because we now today we are talking about my team. We are not with we are our product is now is trying to base in different countries that that speak English, and mm, s- some days some of them try to make the dailies in English for maybe for one day. Let's say Friday, we are going to make the daily in English. I when they say that, I really feel enthusiastic, but it didn't happen. So well, today, like the question says that see if the English gonna give me a different, or if I have a short-term English goal related to my current job, well, actually, I could say that I don't see it. Maybe for a goal, a personal goal to improve my speaking. I think that is that.
Yeah. Uh, Something curious that you related that or about that what you just said, it that at least you practice Portuguese in your current position. Because in my case, even though I work here, I work in a project who is like aimed to Hispanic people, and as well I have Hispanic colleagues from Bolivia, from Peru, from we had some Chileans as well, and we have just two Brazilian members on my current team. So when we have our daily meetings, we speak normally in Spanish most of the time. So unfortunately, I don't have so many chances to speak Portuguese, unfortunately. So that's why I believe, from my view, I am not developing my Portuguese anymore. From my view, I believe I express myself better in English than in Portuguese. I'm not sure why, uh, but I believe that's one of the causes that I don't daily use my Portuguese, just weekends when I have to go to the church or do different activities.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's it. About the question, well, as I already said, imagine I don't use Portuguese. I won't use English at all in my current position. However, I try to practice it every single day with different resources. With this kind of conversation are really useful, I believe, because
yeah,
we can express ourselves, we can share our ideas, and even more if we work in the same area, it's easier to share our ideas, like specific words, more technical words. It's good. And about a short-term English goal, I believe that it's like I always wanted to start this kind of a conversation, my own conversation or the conversation of this community. um, I believe that I already did. We already started the last week, as I already said. Another one is like to take a proficiency test. It was like a long-term goal before, like some months, some years ago, but I have been preparing myself to for this test, so it's like becoming something like short-term goal. So I believe, or hopefully, I'm gonna take this exam or this test this year, and hopefully I'm gonna succeed because I need a like a good score for my long-term goals, like personal professionals. And what about you, about your goals, a short-term, long-term goals? Do you have any specific for your English level, for your English learning?
well, yeah. I think it's a good example that you said, taking tests, trying to certificate yourself, because in that case, prove that your English it's acceptable. You need to take tests, and for all of us that we are not native, right? And getting a test, it's a good way to start, right? So for me, English, I think that this is I think last year I was kind of taking an English classes with a native, and I had the opportunity to speak like very different topics, and it was very open. So since that until now, I didn't have the opportunity to have this space to speak English, right? So maybe for me, short term, it's like get spaces of time to practice more my English, to get more fluent, um, and be more how can I say, mm, confident when I'm speaking, right? So that will be for me a short term goal.
Yeah, feeling like confident speaking another language is something that needs time. and as well it needs a lot of practice, patience as well, because it's not something that's gonna happen like overnight. Ah, okay, I want to be confident. Tomorrow is not gonna be like that. It's something that you have to practice. And practice and practice again, and with time we got that level of confidence. Because we won't be like, we will never be like, or reach that level of English like natives. It's something, from my view, it's impossible, because even in our mother tongue, that is Spanish, we don't speak it perfectly. So I believe that it's important to understand that. I believe that it's good to like to understand what is our goal, because if it's like, I want to speak perfectly without hesitation, without stopping or without repeating myself, I believe that it's not gonna happen, you know. However, obviously we can get a high level of English, but not like the perfection. It's something, from my view, it's impossible. I'm not sure if somebody else did it, but I know where I can reach, or I can get, or what my level of English can become as well.
As you
So,
said,
mhm,
for us, every native most of the time doesn't speak correctly. We we speak Spanish, and of course we make mistakes, right? So I think happens the same with American natives, right?
yeah, yeah, I completely agree. Thanks so much, Ebenezer. We have enough time for continuing to answer more questions. Let's move on to the question number 8. I believe we already mentioned something about the question number 7. Let me see here. Are you currently studying English to improve your changes and promotion? Okay. Yeah, we already mentioned a little bit about it. So let's move to the
Yeah.
question number 8. Okay. So, what skills, writing emails, speaking in meetings, interviews, do you need to focus on first? Or perhaps do you struggle the most? Uh, I'm gonna start answering this one. I believe that I don't have like so many problems with so much problems with interviews nowadays. All of the last interviews that I did in English, I passed the first stage, that it's the first interview, that is normally 100% in English. Uh, However, nowadays that I am starting for that proficiency test, I am struggling so much on writing, because I need to write some essays, some emails as well. There are different kind of emails. There are like the formal, the informal, the semi-formal, and the formal one is so difficult, because you have to like research specific words to express yourselves to someone who you don't know. It's easier when you write to someone, your friend. It's gonna be like an informal letter. So yeah, writing is a skill that I need to improve more nowadays. Not specifically related to my current position or my current job. It's more related to my goals. That it's, as I said, getting a good score in the exam that I need, the exam that I need to take. Speaking in meetings. I don't think so. I don't have meetings in English. But I believe that I need to improve like my communication skills in general, not just in English, as well in Portuguese, because there are some times that when I'm in an interview, in a meeting, and I need to express my ideas, the things that I know, perhaps something that we have to apply, some knowledge that I have to share, and sometimes I don't have like that good ability. But it's not about the language; it's about communication in general. The pronunciation, perhaps the way that you articulate your mouth, your face, how you use your expression, your hands. I believe that it's something I need to improve, but it's not specifically related to the language. And what about you, Ebenezer? What do you think?
Well, for me, speaking in meetings, it's not an option because I don't have English meetings. I would like to. But it's for me always speaking. It's like I really need to improve that. Uh, Writing, well, writing, of course, you can write, but what about writing something more technical, or writing, like you said, an email that even for me that I speak Spanish, if you ask me for writing an email, mm, I don't know. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna paste it to ChatGPT and transform this in like more formal, right? So writing always, it's I don't know if I don't know if it is because we are don't have too much vocabulary or formal vocabulary, and in most cases I can write it. So yeah, writing too for me. I'm not used to the unique time that I write is when I am committing my work, and I write something that describes my what I did, but it's very very simple, something descriptive. But yeah, I do really need to improve my speaking. My speaking, yeah, I think speaking could be for me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's important to point out that you just said about even in Spanish we struggle writing emails, and sometimes when we are still in the learning process, as everybody here, because we are not professionals at English. So when we go to English, we said why the heck can't I write and letter in English, and we forget that we cannot do that even in Spanish. So
Yeah,
we have to understand that we have to like uh, yeah, understand that it's something difficult even in your own in your own language, and I believe that happens as well for those, for example, we have to understand ourselves better when we are learning a new language. Uh, because, for example, if you are an introvert person, even in your mother tongue, you don't wait or you don't expect to say the a different person in English, you know. And some people say, "I why can I do that? Why can I do that?" But you have to understand, you have to analyze yourself. Ah, okay, I am the same in Spanish. Why am I forcing myself to be like an extrovert person in English? So yeah, it's an analysis that you have to do about yourself. And yeah, I completely agree. For me as well, it's like really difficult to write letters in Spanish, but I am learning to do it in English with a lot of practice and a lot of resources, but specifically more by practice. Uh, Thank you so much for your comments, for your insights, for your knowledge as well. Is it that's what I believe that's why these kind of meetings are really good, because we can complement to each other with different ideas, and it's not like talking with a machine with artificial intelligence that it's like becoming like normal nowadays. So let's move on to the question number 11. I'm gonna I'm gonna join the 11 with 12 because let me see here. No, it's the I'm gonna merge, or I'm gonna join the 10 one with the 11 one because they are related. Okay. What is your long-term career goal, and how will English help you reach it? And the second one is, how do you hope to work abroad or in an international company in the future?
okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, uh, first, I For those that doesn't know me, but I think everybody, but it's okay. I lived in Uruguay for just 10 years, and I used to work alone. So I think when I was applying for some job vacancies for a different company, I realized that working with a team, it was necessary, and I used to work alone. So the first decision that I made was to move and work in a place where I can have a contact with a team or with different mates that do the same as I do. So today I'm now here in Brazil. I work with a team, and we are of course we talk every day, and this time of where I am this time that I am living here, I am just learning how to work with a team. But what is my long-term goal? Of course, I have a period of time that I am expecting to pass here. After that, of course I would like to apply for a different company, and I'm sure that today companies they have clients every in the worldwide. So in when I apply for those companies, of course English gonna be a must. So I have this period of learning, working in groups, working in a team, and of course I need to get more confident in my English, getting better speaking and writing. So let me check the question number 11. Yeah, do you have to work abroad or an international company? Yes, yes, yes. In the well, yeah, it's one of it's one of my goals. Of course, I'm not close to this opportunity. If there is an opportunity to work for an international company, of course, I'm gonna apply it.
Thank you so much. Hopefully our managers won't watch this video because they will realize that we want to leave our current job. So from
Uh,
my view, in my case, yeah, for sure. That's why I am like I am trying to level up or enhance my English in general. I would like to work abroad and live abroad from South America specifically. Even more like working remotely is like something that it's a lot of people do, and they gain in dollars or euros, and they spend that money here in South America. It's a good strategy. I believe that abroad there are more benefits than just money from my view. But it's my personal opinion. Perhaps obviously another person or other people will have different opinions. That it's okay. But from my view, it's important for me. Like I don't know when. I am still working hard for that. But yeah, I would like to work abroad. And as well, using my English, working in an English speaking environment, it's something that perhaps will help me finally to reach that high English level that I have been looking for so long ago. So yeah, and I believe that my long-term career goal is to say it's related, it's linked to that. Find a job abroad, move there with my family, and work there, and as well have my children in another country. That's a goal that I have, but it's not linked to my professional goals. And that's it. I believe that we finished. Let's move on. I want to skip the 12, 13, and 14. And I would like you to answer the 15 one, but briefly, like 5, 6 words, something briefly. What advice would you give to someone who wants to improve their English for career purposes?
Wow, for career purposes. Uh, well, I think that if you want to improve your English, you should really practice. And I see with my daughter that she didn't have any experience of Portuguese, and today I can see her speaking Portuguese better than I do. So and I ask why how can she learn faster? And of course the way she learn, it's like hearing, it's like doing the same that their 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 friends is the way their friends speaks. And so for those who speak English, or for those who have the opportunity to learn English, and they learn like let's let's learn first grammar, or maybe reading, or maybe pronunciation, and they are just forgetting to learn one of the most important, that it's speaking. So this kind of opportunities to speak, to talk about different topics, or maybe watch some series in English, or and reading books, and uh, about your career. I think those of them gonna improve your English. So keep on going, keep studying, look for opportunities to speak, try to make English a part of your life, think in English. That's what's one of the most difficult things, for those who are learning. It's like you always start thinking in the language you are native, and you try to translate in your head, and then you start to speak. I think you need to learn and listen how the language is spoken. Is not the same as maybe as your native language. We speak we can speak in a different way, and in English maybe it's a different way. We don't need to translate, and so I think that's a little advice for those who are trying to get immersed in English.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ebenezer. From my view, it's important to like set reachable goals. For example, you cannot say, okay, I have zero English knowledge, so in 1 year I will be fluent. It's something that is not gonna happen, so it's important to set achievable goals. For example, the next month I will master the verb to be in simple present, simple past. I believe that is a good goal for 1 month. Another one is don't think so much, or don't compare yourself with others' process or with others' journey, because your journey will be so different than the others. So just focus on your progress. Another thing is don't focus so much on your pronunciation. From my view, it's a mistake that we normally do. We think that the better our pronunciation, the better our English will be. I don't think so. Even more in our field in tech, there are a lot of Indian guys who work in good position, and they have a strong accent. Obviously, it's good to get closer to the accent, but from my view, it's not that important. Be consistent. It's not gonna happen overnight, as I already said. Every single little step that you do will get you to that English level that you are looking for and you are or you have been working so hard for. And that's it. I believe that we can switch to Spanish for finishing this our conversation. So,
Yeah.
Ebenezer, ¿cómo quisiera saber? Nosotros terminamos con un pequeño feedback de cómo fue esta inmersión, qué te pareció. Es la primera vez que tú participas con nosotros, ojalá no sea la última y esperamos crecer. ¿Qué te pareció la dinámica? ¿Qué te pareció la conversación en general? ¿Y cómo te crees que te puede ayudar en tu evolución de tu aprendizaje del inglés?
Personalmente me pareció muy, muy, ¿cómo te podría decir? A veces ya hasta se me olvidan las palabras, pero yo me sentí bastante cómodo. Me sentí cómodo, en ningún momento me sentí como que, tipo, como que estoy no sé qué voy a hacer, no sé qué voy a decir. Me sentí cómodo, me sentí tranquilo. Creo que las preguntas son bastante claras y ayuda a una persona no solamente a responder, sino también a pensar, porque muchas de las preguntas es como que tengo que pensar o sea, me hiciste pensar más en qué es lo que quiero hacer, ¿no? Entonces... personalmente me gustó bastante porque como te dije, o como dije en la conversación, hace tiempo que no tenía un momento para poder hablar inglés. Eh, y creo yo que la única forma para poder mejorar es practicando. Por ejemplo, estoy aquí un año ya viviendo aquí en Brasil y claramente tengo que hablar todos los días en portugués. Creo que hablo más portugués que español, pero mismo viviendo un año y mismo que el portugués sea una lengua casi similar al español, por lo menos comparten muchas palabras. Mismo así, después de un año, yo no me podría considerar una persona fluyente, ¿no? O sea,
Yo peor.
entonces uno se pone a pensar, ok, quiero ser fluente en inglés y estoy un año todos los días hablando, supuestamente hablando, ya estoy practicando, ¿no? Entonces tampoco me puedo considerar una persona fluyente. Entonces, ¿cuánto más me debe faltar para poder considerarme una persona bastante, o por lo menos aceptablemente fluyente en inglés, ¿no? Entonces,
Ujú.
para mí, abrir un espacio para poder hablar, no solamente hablar, sino poder interactuar con situaciones cotidianas de la vida, creo que es eso, ¿no?
Cotidiano.
Es por ahí,
Ujú.
es por ahí.
Exactamente. Muchas gracias, Ebenezer, por tu comentario. Como tú dices, es un momento que justamente no es un examen. Yo creo que no tenemos que verlo como algo así. Yo sé que existe la presión, ¿no? Para todo el mundo que se expone para otro idioma, es una presión al inicio. Afortunadamente no pasó eso con nosotros. Ya pasó conmigo, obviamente con todo el mundo va a pasar al inicio, pero como más practicamos, yo creo que más confianza tenemos al hablar en otro idioma. Y traer temas generales sobre trabajo, sobre nuestra evolución en inglés, yo creo que es bastante bueno porque tú tienes algo que comentar, ¿no? No existe respuesta correcta, no existe respuesta errónea. No tenemos
Claro.
profesores acá, así que es una conversación como entre amigos. Y cada uno trae
Mm.
ideas de su perspectiva y yo creo que incluso cuando tú no tienes una idea por cómo responder algo, la otra persona complementa con algo y te hace recordar que sí, yo tengo un ejemplo similar y traes ese ejemplo a la conversación. Yo creo que es lo más importante de este tipo de reuniones. Entonces, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Espero que no sea la última vez. Voy a intentar abrir más conversaciones y espero que más personas aparezcan porque es interesante tener otras perspectivas, pero como te dije al principio, que seamos dos, suficiente, ya se puede dar una conversación y todos
Claro.
ganamos. Tú aprendes o practicas y yo aprendo del conocimiento que tú tienes y también practico al mismo tiempo. Entonces es un win-win. Entonces, eso sería todo. Muchas gracias por estar aquí y nos vemos en nuestra siguiente inmersión de nuestra comunidad
Gracias.
This is